Hello and welcome back to Cutting with Devs, Cutting with Caelyn.
Cutting with Caelyn. It's
with
me, Caelyn Sandal.
Awesome. And thanks again. I have to. I got it.
You're welcome again. You will continue to be welcome.
I will continue to be grateful.
Good. I like that. We can all continue to be grateful and welcome.
So you might hear crinkling in the background. We're trying a new thing with the cat, who is a troublemaker. Yeah, I have this really fancy table. And
oh man, fancy tables are the worst.
Kinda. Yeah, I honestly.
They're like having a pet.
Excuse me. Laborer security.
Laborer security card. Those can get you through red security doors. It is, in fact, the lowest form of security card, but it can open some doors for you.
I've never found just a random security card.
Yeah, it happens from time to time.
That's fantastic.
They're pretty expensive to buy. So
yeah, we're trying tinfoil, and because the cat is broken, not actually, but like it's just an incorrect cat. They have taken a liking to walking around on the tinfoil.
It's been my experience that if a cat can make crinkly noises, the cat will make crinkly noises.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good room. I like this room.
Oh yeah. If only we had a ray attack. But somebody had the idea to not take any offensive mutations when starting out, so...
that's quite right.
You can't have nice things.
I am wondering, though, why, when I got the carapace, why our AV didn't go up at all.
What were you wearing?
Oh, that's why.
Because if you were wearing something nice, then...
It went on the one part where I had armor, that's why.
Well, we'll have the opportunity to level it up when our genome enters an excited state. We can use the boost on carapace to get an extra AP.
I'd spend our attribute point, but I don't think that's actually going to be helpful.
No, not in this case.
Oops. Okay, I'm gonna go upstairs and rest. All right. So let me ask some, if not any, of the Bela questions I've got here.
Please go ahead.
All right, so do you want to just as a context preamble talk about your contributions to Qud and
Sure. So I am the game's additional writer and designer. I was hired to help fill out the world for the most part. I am like a lot of what I've contributed to Caves of Qud is the stuff that you just happen to see as you play through the game. But has been folded more and more into the main quest as I've continued to work with Freehold. So there's not so much of a distinction there anymore. But I wrote the dialogue for about half the Barathrumites. I wrote the fall-through dialogue for Snapjaw's Isakari Raiders, and who else? There's some other mobs. And most of the stilt merchants, so like, bookbinders, scribes, kippers, chefs, bookbinders. Did I already say that? I did. Apothecaries. So yeah, lots and lots of like just kind of world building stuff. I also created the Hindran and wrote the quest line for the village of Bela, and I designed the Mopango, and wrote the quest Fraying Favorites and the related quests in the Tomb of the Eaters, which you haven't gotten to yet. I
actually haven't gotten to the Mopango, and I haven't gotten to a lot of that stuff. I have done the Bela quest a few times, and the farthest I've made it is Bethesda Susa, and I haven't beaten that. So I'm still very fresh.
I have to ask, have you played the Bela quest since the big update?
I have completed the arc.
Good, great. That's wonderful to hear. And it worked properly?
Well...
It was broken for a long time.
It was, I actually did this with Narf.
Oh,
and,
that was before I fixed it.
Yeah.
I think that was before I fixed it. Yeah.
It was very new and fresh, and but it was really good because I had Narf to basically fix it on the fly. They said
that's helpful.
They said, "Oh, the game might crash soon." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I hit the button, auto explore, and the game crashed.
Wow. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad they were there for you.
It was
yeah.
pretty great.
So the Baylock quest actually sat in the game for a long time without being fixed, because I had come up with too complex of an outcome grid. Like, I was used to writing outcomes for complex interactive fiction games, and it's kind of a different skill set than designing here, and I didn't necessarily know how to bridge the gap. So when I first designed the quest, we didn't really end up implementing it right. So the result wasn't always like the outcome of what happened to the village didn't always match up to what you had done.
Right.
But I'm pleased to report that so far as I'm aware, the new version of the quest is fine. Like you actually get the result that you went for. And
I only recently found out. I was trying to do a little bit of research in preparation for our recording session. That there is an actual consistent reward based on the end result that you choose.
That's correct.
So
there's basically the loot table that is called when you finish the quest. Oh, don't lose that staircase.
Yeah, I realized I was like, I'm not doing a smart thing right now.
You want to stay by that staircase until the coast is cleared. Anyway, the reward that you get pulls from a different loot table depending on who you accuse and what the climate of the village is, which is to say whether it is benevolent, prosperous is the good one, mixed or tumultuous. And tumultuous results tend to get you more combat focused stuff, but also may result in the destruction of the village.
Okay, this is really interesting stuff that I did not know about.
Yeah.
How can you tell the climate of the village?
Well, if you go through all of Engohind can explain all of this to you, but you have to sit through a whole lot of him quoting Shakespeare. And but the way that it works basically is that there are positive and negative categories for the types of clue. So crafting and trade clues are positive, whereas violence and illness clues are negative.
Okay.
If you do just positive, that results in a prosperous climate. If you do one positive, one negative, that's mixed. And both negative, that is tumultuous. Yeah, regeneration in a new body part. That's very exciting.
That is very exciting. A taproot grows out of your body.
Taproot, I believe that is feet.
Great. This is actually a better roll than our first, because we got 2 genomes instead of just the 1.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we have feet. Anyway.
Oh no! Look at that. It's
a
actually another limb. Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. You're going to be able to equip your whole inventory.
Well, we don't have the pincer this time, so this is our now.
That's true.
So this is our second manipulator now.
Yeah.
A little bit disappointing, but I mean, we still have 2.
Yes, there's still more, and besides, we can continue to buy them.
Okay, so this is really interesting. I didn't know behind the scenes that Bela is as crunchy as it is. It often
Bela is pretty crunchy, actually. It's there is literally a grid of outcomes. I did this with tables, because they are the language that designers speak, And like the first one was really, really complicated, but at this point there are only two elements that are, I'm sorry, there are three elements that are examined when determining what happens to the village. One is who is exiled. The next one is what the climate is. And the last one is whether or not you finished the quest Love and Fear before finishing Kith and Kin.
Interesting. That's the one you hand in the poem.
Yes, that's the one where you like Love and Fear is a quest that is automatically given to you when you pick up the crumpled sheet of paper that is hidden on the same screen that Eskind is hiding on when you find her.
Okay.
So there's a little scroll tucked into one of the trees, and it's a sonnet that Eskind wrote for Nilahide, and you can hand it to either of one of them, but doing so basically means that they share their ending. Whatever happens to one happens to the other. So if Eskind is exiled, Nilahide will leave with her, and obviously that has an impact on the village too.
Okay. Huh.
So like if you don't do that, then they might still end up in the same place, but it's still going to affect the outcome.
Right. That's really interesting that you have like I really appreciate that you've tied those two quests so closely together. It you could so easily kind of like presume or assume that it's like the completion of one doesn't really affect the other, but of course it would in real life. So
yeah, when we first did the quest, it wasn't possible to hand the note to either of them. The note was there, but you couldn't do anything with it. And rightfully, people were like, well, I want to be able to give them the note. And I'm like, well, that's completely sensible. And making it a fulcrum around which the quest results rotated allowed us to simplify everything else, which was sorely needed. The thing is, like, we didn't actually change the rewards at all, so the rewards are still based on the old system, which is kind of interesting. But the village outcome, which to me is more important for it to be accurate, is much more stable now, and it works properly every time, I think.
I haven't had any experienced any problems since I
Good.
did that one playthrough with Qud or Narf. Sorry.
Check it out. Try different things. There's a certain thing where if you accuse Kessahind, the burly bodyguard dude, if you accuse him with violence, there are some outcomes of that will give you his legendary axe. So if hunting for unique treasures is your kind of thing, that's a way to do it.
No, I wasn't gonna. I could talk about that certain circumstance, but just touching on it for a moment, I really am never one to, like, I personally never try to go murder hobo, and this was a term that wasn't even like, I didn't even know about it.
No, what I meant in this case was that if you say that Kessahind is the one who did it, and you present evidence that he used violence, he may have his axe confiscated and given to you.
Oh, interesting.
That is one of the potential. There are three axes. There are three elemental axes in Bela, but only one of them is attainable without using violence yourself, and that's to accuse someone else of it.
Which leads me to another question: is there an outcome that you particularly gravitate towards or tend to favor?
Because the clues that you receive vary a lot, I can only afford to be so picky, because it may be that there's only one route to getting a favorable ending, but I always choose an ending where Eskind ends up being appointed temporary Hydriarch. I always pick an outcome where the village survives, and if I can, I like to do one where Ke is merely stripped of her title rather than exiled from the village. But I'll send her out there to get lost or die if I have to.
Okay.
But yeah, I know which side my toast is buttered on, because like obviously I drew a lot from myself and my friends when writing the plot between Eskind and Nilahinde. I happen to be friends with a lot of lesbian disasters, so it's a case of writing what I know, and that was important to me. But it doesn't mean that I know who I'm going to favor every time I play.
Right.
I didn't put a lot of effort into this quest to make it like, oh, both sides could be bad. No, it's like I know whose favor I'm writing with.
That's interesting too, because like, oh no,
I back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanna get out of that mouth so they're not both attacking you. Yeah, okay.
There was a quillback behind me, so that's why I was a little bit spooked.
Oh, it came around to get you.
That's pretty good.
To get you.
Rarely, like, I mean, I consider Bela to be one of the most open-ended quests in a video game, like, period.
It's pretty open-ended. It's pretty open-ended.
But I find it interesting and actually kind of funny that it was written with bias in mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, the funny thing is that I'm not sure that I had bias in mind when I first started writing or designing it, but over time, like, I first came up with the Hindran in 2015, right before things started going to hell. And as that happened, and as we found ourselves needing to kind of distinguish ourselves as basically a leftist video game company, I looked at this quest and I was like, how much do I want this to be? Like, how objective do I want to try to seem when I'm doing this? And I decided, well, not very. But, like, I did make it so that there are certainly outcomes that, you can accuse Eskind and still get a relatively happy ending for her.
Right.
Namely, if you complete Love and Fear and she gets exiled, but she takes Nilahinde with her, she'll feel much more optimistic about the future. So like, I don't know, I wasn't really interested in doing some kind of like Rashomon, anybody could be wrong thing. Because what made me uniquely suited to write this story is that it is personal to me, and I know how to put heart in these characters because it's my heart. It's the things that are important to me and make me feel like I want to make art.
Right.
And queerness is a big part of that, and I'm very, very happy that Brian and Jason got on board with that, because they seem to like the way that Bela went, which is really good. They didn't really do anything to it. The mystery plot was actually Jason's idea in the first place, because he was going to use that when he put the Hindran into the game himself, before they were thinking about hiring me. Okay. But he never got around to it, and when they hired me, he was like, well, okay, here are some things that I kind of planned out. We didn't get to them. You don't have to use them, but here they are. And I said, right. Okay, well, I think I can work with this. And so I did. Like that, I took his idea and I said, well, okay, but I want to make it a little bit more, I don't know, I wanted to make it a little bit weird. And when I happened upon the idea that maybe you are writing the reality of the crime. Oh, I spaced out. I just noticed that you have the opportunity to get heightened hearing, a surprisingly good mutation, and grow another body part. Let's see what you got.
Hand grows out of your body. We have a third
hand. You are a handsy stranger.
And you know what? We have 4 mutation points, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy those. We have photosynthetic skin.
Oh. It's tempting to tell you to take electrical generation, but we're committed to the bit. You got to take
committed to the bit.
Skin.
A leg grows out of your right hand.
Good. That's excellent. Definitely boost that carapace.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking that. The other ones, I'm not sure how beneficial they are.
It can be good to boost the other ones, but carapace is most directly tied to your immediate survival. So yeah, that's the like Bela has been a much more interesting journey for both myself and kind of the game as a whole than I necessarily expected, and it makes me happy.
That's really cool. I mean, it like kind of covers like I was gonna ask like what were the inspiration for the is it Hindren or
Hindren.
Okay, that's interesting.
I twist the pronunciation in certain areas on purpose because there's like, you know, in case you hadn't noticed, there's a lot of linguistic drift kind of built into Qud's culture. Like, you know, there are certain things that you can find that are more obvious than others. But like, you know, let's see, apple motts is that is a recreation of the popular Passover dish, a Hillel sandwich, which is
okay.
It's haroset, which is, you know, an apple puree or an apple compote, I guess you would call it, served over matzah, and you make this little crunchy sandwich, and I had, like, you know, that's pretty much what inspired apple motts, and as a result, you know, I made mala soup, which is inspired by matzo ball soup. There's a lot of Jewish folklore kind of folded into Qud.
That's really good. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, no, it's totally a thing. And you know, like, it's more obvious in certain things than others. Bethesda, Susa, Golgotha, like, these names are obviously biblical. Mm-hmm. But you know, like, there's the kind of alteration of things is very important to Qud, like pulling away, because you know, there's a reason that it says, you know, that you're digging through a layer cake of ancient civilizations. That's part of the tagline, and the reason for that is that there wasn't just one apocalypse, but multiple apocalypses between what we would think of as present day and Qud. Oh boy, you gotta run. Hit them bricks, or at the very least.
I mean, gonna Witchwood.
Yeah, you can hit Witchwood and spam it, but make sure you have a clear path to run for your life. Okay, good. All right.
I cut it close sometimes.
Yeah, no, that, you know, like, so do I. But you know, I'm contractually obligated to tell you to hit the bricks.
This is gonna be really embarrassing. I don't understand the meme.
Okay. I want to say in the early 2010s. No, maybe it was the mid 2010s. This Twitter account, I think it's a Twitter account called Da Share Zone, appeared.
Oh, I know Da Share Zone. Okay.
Da Share Zone had a meme that shows basically a, like, you know, a running skeleton that's like, you know, going bad, hit the bricks. And it's just this list of like, you know, wedding, dinner, time with parents, like, just all this stuff, and it's like, you can just leave, walk out, you know. And so you know, like, Qud shit posts have always kind of been a little bit had a little bit of that share zone energy, especially with, like, you know, Ivy and Ava being our sort of community leads. And Ava came up with that meme, and basically just mimicked the share zone version, but with all Qud stuff, and that's how it all started. And now hit the bricks is just what we all say.
Okay.
Oh, you should drop all them smaller wires. You got 200 feet now.
I do have 200 feet. I was keeping an eye on the prompt that said you were completed. You have completed. You are done. But
you want to know why you're not getting that?
Why is that?
You haven't finished the artifact quest yet. You haven't given him a trinket.
Oh, yes. Okay.
But I will tell you right now, there's no reason to be carrying around all those small lengths of wire.
Yeah.
The 50-foot ones will do you. But you know, I think that Argive takes all of your wire, regardless of how much you've gotten. I don't remember exactly.
I was definitely on autopilot. So you know what? Argive wins this time. Argive gets an extra bonus.
Yeah.
Wire.
Maybe you can. Ooh.
We're good.
Feeds.
We're good. He's.
Good. And
they're fighting Kudzu now.
Yeah.
Oh, and now.
Ooh. Do you still have? Didn't you pick up a neck ring?
Would that be an armor or trinkets?
Trade goods, actually.
Trade goods. Okay, I have a beaded bracelet.
Sad. No, neck rings are specifically a type of baboon jewelry. So if you wear it, they will mess with you less. But yeah, for now, you might just want to get out of the area, or gun them down.
I don't even know if I have a missile weapon on.
Do you have a grenade?
I do have a short bow. I think this is a losing
probably
proposition.
Getting to cover. Yeah, probably getting to cover, or tripping over the area border is your best bet.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to try and do here.
Hit the bricks.
Hit the bricks.
The thing about that meme is that it works so well because Qud requires running away in a way that other games do not. That other roguelikes do not, specifically. Other roguelikes don't really encourage you to run away because usually the same creature will be blocking the way if you want to continue.
Yeah, it's definitely something like learning that in Qud is part of the survival learning experience.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. But that's why we've made a meme of it, because we like to introduce people to the concept of running away as early and as catchily as possible.
Yeah.
Careful about going into that canyon.
No, this is a great thing actually.
Okay, all right.
Because birds are well, maybe.
That's the thing is that chameleon is going to come to mess your stuff up, and this two-headed boar is not going to help.
I'm still hoping for birds. Oh, the dragonflies and the birds are having
the birds will help, but those ground critters are way stronger than the birds available.
Dang.
All right,
my goodness.
You're here
we're good.
Yeah, just keep sprinting southeast until you're out of this area. Oh, okay, that works too.
I saw an opportunity. I saw a window.
More power to you.
Okay.
Knowing,
all right.
Knowing when does it disengage is certainly a marketable skill in this game.
So I think I have trinkets, but I don't know. Let's have a look.
I think you have some trinkets.
I have a strange tubes, which is definitely.
That's probably a folding chair.
That is absolutely.
You do still have to find another one. Just go buy a grenade from Tam. That's usually what I do if I reach this point and still don't have another artifact. I feel like you have enough stuff to trade for it.
If I have enough. Yeah, I think I probably will.
Let's find out. Yeah, let's just throw all your stuff in a pile and see what it'll buy you.
Well, I can definitely afford that, but let me see if there's something better. The musket, I think, is cheaper.
Well,
if that counts.
If you go back up and look at the icons, one of those is actually that weird artifact that's 71 drams. I don't know what that is, but it might be an elemental weapon, but it also might be something cool and useful like a compass bracelet. So if you have enough, you might as well maybe try and pick it up.
Well, does Argive take your trinket?
Well, he does take whichever trinket. I just meant that you could buy it extra.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not giving Argive nothing useful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them whatever junk. They get what they get is what.
I hear that 100%.
Okay. All right. So, I guess it's not worth anything. I could sell the labor security card. Actually, I think I'm actually good, and I have plenty of trade goods.
Yeah, you're fine.
So I will go ahead and hand this stuff into Argive. Nice. I was hoping to get to Bela before the end here, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, not this time.
That's totally fine. I'm grateful for the time that you've given me here.
Absolutely, and I'm down to forge further just we're approaching the end of this particular session, but I can come back and talk more. There's so much to talk about. Caves of Qud is a very dense game with a very dense production process.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to me. Like I haven't been part of it for very long, but even in the short time that I've seen it, it's evolved, like, almost literally extra limbs.
Yes, exactly. Oh man, I don't know. This game just feels very important culturally, like for roguelikes. I don't know. It's hard to be objective from in here, but the moment I played this game, it felt special.
It didn't hit me right away, but it did hit me pretty quickly.
Nice.
And I mean, it's something I always have to thank Narf for. Is like I tried it on stream, and Narf was like instantly in my chat, not knowing me at all. It's like, hey, I see you're playing Caves of Qud. You want to learn how to play this game properly? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, a dev, and it was they really brought me into the fold. It was really positive. That's
just super cool. I love it, and it's been fun. I appreciate you bringing me on. I look forward to seeing how you like the rest of the game as it continues to develop.
Do you mind if I close with one last question?
Of course, go right ahead.
Is there a dream feature that you would love to add to Qud, or even potentially take away, given enough time and resources?
A dream feature that I want to add to Qud. I mean, like for a long time, it's been controller support. Is it cheating for me to say something that's already on the roadmap?
No.
Okay, because after 1.0, we have plans for a mobile port, and if that happens, I'm never getting out of bed.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Like, I will live in bed from now on, because I can just sit in bed and play Qud until my wrists give out.
Yeah, I heard you on the Roguelike Celebration mention a Switch port, and I'm like, oh, ooh.
That one, it kind of depends, because like most likely what we would need to be doing at that point is like, forming a partnership with another company. Mm-hmm. And that is not a thing that we have nailed down at this time, but it is something that everybody wants. So, keep your eye on it. We may eventually have something to announce.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. Awesome. And thank you so much for joining me. And is there anything you would like me to plug? I'm obviously going to drop your Twitch for Gra streams into the description. But is there anything else you'd like me to?
If you are interested in, you can also if you are interested in culture stuff, queer issues, also game design. These things as they apply to one another, you can always follow my Twitter account. It's Inurashii, that's INURASHII. And give me a follow, and I announce all of my stuff on Twitter, so you won't miss anything.
Fantastic. I will include that in all of the descriptions for this recording.
Wonderful, please do.
Awesome. Well, if you, this has been awesome.
Yes.
I hope that people have enjoyed this, and this isn't the end. I would hesitate to say if this is even the end of this character. I would no promises, nothing to wouldn't hold you to anything. But if in the future you're ever wanting to do more, I'd love to do more.
Sure, yeah. My time today is limited, but at the same time, I'm happy to come back. I'm sure we can schedule something.
Awesome. Cool. Well, like if you did, follow if you don't, and I will see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.